I want to give the audience a song that they can perform. So what can they do?
While I've been here in Toronto, I snuck out to go and see a screening of Bohemian Rhapsody. This is the new movie that focuses on Freddie Mercury's rise and the very, very, very big success of the rock band Queen.
So now what?
This is when the operatic section comes in.
And it's framed around the 1985 Live Aid concert, which is a really cool way to kind of showcase this impossibly influential band. This is an incredible rock band, and you really get a sense of how much they mean to rock culture and popular culture by all of the songs that filter throughout this movie. It's not a masterpiece by any sense of the imagination. It's certainly not made with the artistry or the deft touch of something like even A Star Is Born, but it's fun nonetheless. You know, Rami Malek is a great choice as Freddie Mercury. He has to wear prosthetic teeth or some kind of add-on teeth to his overbite, and it creates a pretty hard to ignore central position on his face, and he has to make comment on it. He gets kind of made fun of early in the film, but I never stopped looking at his teeth throughout this whole thing, and I wonder if the filmmakers, you know, went too far in that direction, because there's, at least in my perspective, they're so prominent in every scene that he's in, and I just thought of the actor having to deal with this stuff inside of his mouth. But it doesn't really remove the artistry from his performance, though, because, you know, he's a terrific performer. He's really excelled in everything that he has been in so far, and he has a lot of scenery to chew in this movie. Like, he's got to go big. He's a big flamboyant character. You know, he plays a gay man or a bisexual man. It's sort of a, you know, a little murky the way that they talk about this in the movie.
Roger, there's only room in this band for one hysterical queen.
But he plays a guy that is not afraid of being big and elaborate and showy, and you can tell that he's having a lot of fun with it, and you can tell that there's been a lot of research and a lot of understanding about the choreography that Freddie Mercury did on stage, and there's, you know, a lot of celebration of all of that, which I thought was terrific. You know, I thought that that was a very important part of enjoying the film, was just sort of seeing this performer, this magnetic performer in Rami Malek, just embracing the opportunity and just having a great time with the role and celebrating this phenomenal band. And that's really what this movie was. It's a crowd-pleasing movie. It's almost like it's a precursor to an inevitable Broadway music performance. And you can kind of feel like the film studio didn't want to dive too deep into any of the darker aspects of Freddie Mercury's life. We don't really get to see him go through the horror of contracting AIDS and being bedridden and ultimately passing away. They kind of shy away from that. It's more about the escalation and the rise of his professional career, and, you know, kind of the influence that the man was able to provide to the world through his music and through his art and through his unstoppable ambition.
Higher.
Can you go a bit higher?
If I go any higher, only dogs will hear me. Try. Higher.
I love the scenes in the movie where they're kind of trying to nail down the sound, and they're trying to be as esoteric and experimental as possible. And so there's a lot of different instruments used and a lot of different equipment used to create sound and lots of overdubbing. And you can see the genius of the band kind of at play. And I don't know how true to life it is. I don't know how on the nose it is with, you know, the facts. But it was just fun to kind of envision this, you know, this group of young people just trying to make something fresh, make a sound that was going to reverberate. I also loved all of the sort of understanding the importance of the audience in the music and trying to involve, you know, everybody that was out in the crowd to pay to see them play to also be a participant in some of the songs that they were drafting.
Imagine thousands of people doing this in unison. Huh? Well,
What's the lyric?
And when the camera sweeps over, sometimes these CGI created crowds, but when the camera sweeps over the crowds and everybody is clapping and stomping and having fun in time with the music, it's really powerful. I saw it on a huge screen. The audio was crystal clear and wonderful. You could see some of the affected pieces in there. I mean, it was a recreation of some of these massive crowd sequences, like the Live Aid sequence and stuff. Clearly, they couldn't just hire 70,000 extras and recreate that thing in Wembley to sort of the pitch perfect kind of precision that you would hope would be achievable. I think that would just cost so much money. But they did a pretty good job. You know, it was pretty solid. And famously, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes turmoil. Bryan Singer started on this movie. I don't think he finished it. This is definitely a movie you could pick apart because it's messy narratively and it doesn't really redefine this genre at all. We've seen a lot of musical biopics over the years, and there's certainly way better ones.
You look like an angry lizard.
You've got to make an impression, darling.
The script is a little bit too, you know, cutesy and cloy, and I don't feel like it's handled with a really great deal of maturity. Like, we don't really get to understand all of the machinations, you know? So the emotional punch of the film, it doesn't really register, doesn't hit as hard as I would have liked out of this movie. But then, you know, you juxtapose that against the pretty well-crafted concert scenes and this, you know, on-stage performance scenes, and it's hard not to have a smile on your face and to reflect on these fantastic works and, you know, generally have a good time. And that's how I left the movie. I could pick it apart. There's a lot that's disappointing, but I had a really good time watching this, mostly because Queen rocks and they've made us so much great music. I'm going to give Bohemian Rhapsody a 7.5 out of 10.